So I think it's pretty obvious to see how much people in America, or a large percentage of them, really, really hate white people. And this whole thing with the Catholic boys and the Native American guy, it's just a very good example of this, because why is this even a story to begin with? You know, the media is trying to take a lot of this stuff back because it's been exposed that that native guy is a complete liar. You know, he's not a Vietnam vet. He did serve the military in the military for a little bit amount of time, but he didn't go to Vietnam. You know, all of his account that the media initially ran with, that CNN ran with, was all lies. They could have done a little bit of fact checking, but you know, like you see that initial thing from CNN, and she's like, "Oh, this here's Nathan Phillips uh, who walked between these young Trump supporters and these four young men quoting Bible verses about oppression." So, you know, they could have done a little bit of investigation, 30 minutes, an hour, looked on Twitter, and could have figured out that there was a bunch of black Israelites there yelling homophobic slurs and all this other racist shit about white people and to the native people, saying like, you know, you got your land stolen from you because you didn't believe in God or something, because you believe in the buffalo, and just saying a bunch of ridiculous shit. And yes, we all know the black Israelites are like this, and people are going to say like, oh, well, that's not really news. They're everywhere. They do this to everybody. Yeah, they do, but a lot of the media that I was reading was framing it like these four young black innocent males were just quoting verses about the Bible. It's like, are you fucking kidding me? They were calling people like faggots, gay. They were calling that black kid the N-word, saying that white people would steal their organs. At one point, spit on the kids. Like, I don't know. I think, I'm not sure. Somebody said they had weapons or something. But, all these kids are being made to look like the bad guy, and the media ran with it. So, they can't cover up now and be like, oh, sorry, guys, we have new information, and it was an accident. It wasn't a fucking accident. It shouldn't have been a story to begin with. What, some white kid, he's committing a face crime by standing there and staring at a native guy that's beating a fucking drum in his face? That kid handled it pretty well, in my opinion. I know a lot of people that if you do that to them, they would have fucked you up. They would have beat the living shit out of you if you go right in their face, start beating a fucking drum. Are you fucking kidding me? That guy lied. He said that like all those Trump supporters were gonna beat up the black people or something. So he got in the middle of them to settle everything down. And then but initially he said that they surrounded him and they had all these angry faces, and his account keeps changing and stuff. And he's like, oh, they had such angry faces. I could tell that if I touched him, that's all they needed to go and attack me and tear me apart. I was in Vietnam and I know what this is like. And then, in another interview, he talked about, lynching and how how all these white people lynched black people, and how it was the same type of mentality on their faces. The media's publishing this shit. It's totally insane. The media, there's a ton of anti-white propaganda going out there, and this just exposed all the anti-white racist and the virtue signalers, because they all immediately came out to virtue signalers like, oh, this is terrible what this kid did, and oh, it's so disrespectful. How is it disrespectful? He stared at a guy. He's staring while white, I guess. People, oh, driving while black, oh, walking while... Well, I guess you can't stare while white anymore. What was that kid supposed to do? Stand and walk and kneel on his hands and knees or something as the guy walked and drummed past? There was a big set of fucking stairs there. So how is the guy going to diffuse the situation? Is he going to walk through the crowd and separate the people? Is that how he's going to diffuse the situation? He's like, and the guy wouldn't move, and I was in his space, and he wouldn't he wouldn't get out of there. And we all saw the fucking video. If you watched it yourself, and you're thinking, oh, those evil kids, and oh my god, look how fucking terrible they were. It's like, no, you're just exposing your own bias. Even in the initial video that I saw, before even I saw any of the other information, I was like, what are these kids, what did they do wrong? What did they do wrong? They weren't like an inch from this guy, you know, they were a couple feet away, a lot of them, and they were just kind of looking around confused, like laughing. Yeah, I would laugh too. Some random native guy comes in the middle and starts bashing a drum in one of my friend's faces. My friend's looking at him all confused and stuff. And really is even if he did do that, even if he was disrespecting that native guy because of his look and just how that look, is the response really justified to what these kids did? But you know, it is to these racists because they're young, they're white, privileged, straight males, Trump supporters. Yeah, these people are okay to hate. You can hate them as much as you want. Nobody's going to do anything about it. They're just going to laugh. Like, Twitter is promoting people, essentially, that are, like, saying death threats for these kids, asking for these kids to be doxxed, for their school to be shot up, for people to go punch these kids. And all these people are blue check marks. This one guy said they should lock all the kids in the school and burn it down. Like, all blue check marks. And you can report these people as much as you want. But Twitter is just going to respond and say, which they've already done. There's plenty of evidence you can see online of all these other people doing videos about this. And I'm not going to go through every fucking tweet because there's so many. There's so many despicable tweets that just expose these people's hatred for white people. Because like I said, look what this kid did. Even if he did what you think he did, he just stared at a fucking guy, like, with a shitty grin on his face or something. Oh, we need to, like, ruin these kids' lives. We need to punish them. Oh my god, these fucking teenagers, they need to learn respect. All Catholic schools need to learn from this example. You know, they had to shut their school down because of, like, death threats these people are getting. And now everybody's looking into their life, bringing up old photos to try to justify their initial hatred, even though the information came out showing that these kids were essentially, you know, acting pretty well despite the situation of these 4 black Israelites being retarded and yelling fucking racist, stupid, calling them all school shooters, like, saying the most ridiculous shit. And they kept their cool pretty good. In my fucking opinion. Like, you know, you can nitpick and be like, well, they should have just walked away. Fuck you. How about you fucking walk away? That's fucking America. They have a fucking right to be in that fucking place. So what? White people now have to walk away because some fucking native guy stands in their face or some black people fucking harass them? Are you fucking kidding me? Like, this is their fucking country initially. You know, and then, okay, yeah, the natives were there too, blah, blah, blah. But these people have every fucking right to be there. They have every right as much as you have a right to fucking be there. And, oh, well, you should walk away. No, they came and walked in those kids' faces. They came and harassed those fucking kids. And they were waiting there for their fucking bus, okay? They were waiting there to fucking leave. And the buses took a long time, but... You know, it's like, what are they supposed to leave? And the buses are going to be gone? Like, where are they going to walk? That's where the buses were going to go. And then there's all this bullshit with the native guy saying they're like, oh, every year, it's a yearly thing that we go there. Well, I looked it up, and this is like the first year that they've ever done this, like, native Aboriginal march thing. I looked on their site. They're like, very first year, we're going to go and do this before the Women's March, yada, yada, yada. And so they planned to do it during the March for Life. So this is probably set up. This is probably planned. They probably wanted some type of altercation. This native guy has a past of doing these types of things already. You know, he is completely discredited. But, you know, just like I said, exposes the racist because all they saw was white skin on this boy and then some native guy with long hair drumming like, like an asshole in these kids' faces. So, of course, they're going to pick their side. And then You know, like I said, they're still trying to justify it, showing like these kids in blackface when it's not blackface, but the people who are spreading it know that. They know it's not fucking blackface. They can do a quick fucking Google search, blue check marks, celebrities, pundits spreading this shit. And this is like what they do for sports, blackout. And they had another thing, Kathy Griffin was showing them doing like the OK symbol during a basketball game. And that is the symbol people do for like three-pointers. But these leftists are so fucking crazy. They hate white people so goddamn much that they're looking for any goddamn reason to hate these fucking teenagers that don't deserve it. They don't deserve this hate, even if they did what you think they did. It's crazy. The disproportionate reaction that people have. And it, like I said, it exposes them, because there had plenty of times Antifa has sprayed actual veterans in the face with pepper spray, attack people. You didn't see all these people condemn it, get mad. It's because those people were white. They were white. They don't give a shit. They were white Trump supporters and Catholic, whatever. They don't care. You know, the amount of shit that people are talking about Catholics, just replace that with Muslim, and their account would be shut down so fucking fast. They would be called out. The media would be writing stories about their Islamophobia. You know, like the amount of outrage people have, the disproportionate outrage, like just shows you their true colors and what they really think. And it's really disgusting. A lot of people that were like conservative and went in and were like, oh, those kids are gross for what they're doing. And then they later retracted it, like Ben Shapiro and all these other people. Like, fuck you too. You know, fuck you too. You people are no better, and you're pussies. That kid had absolutely nothing to apologize for to begin with. And these people are relentless. They're still going to keep going. They're still going to try to find these kids more information about them, to be like, oh, I saw this other kid. I guess he was some gay Catholic kid that they didn't allow him to, I don't know, speak or something. It's like, dude, you're the valedictorian or something of the school. Like, they let you go there. Like you're pretty open about being gay. Everybody can tell. And they're still complaining. They're still fucking complaining. It's like, man, what do you want? These Catholic people to completely forsake their religion and start changing everything in the fucking Bible? Would you ask that of any other religion? No, you wouldn't. Like, I'm a fucking atheist. I don't even give a shit about, I don't follow Christianity in that, but I'm not going to be like, well, you need to change your doctrine to be more progressive because you need to start letting gays into heaven now. I don't care what Jesus said. I don't care what God said. You got to start letting gays, like, or listen to yourself. You can't expect people to do that, and they lose their fucking shit. They already hate Catholic people anyways. Yes, there's a lot of pedophilia going on in the Catholic Church, but there's a lot of pedophilia going on worldwide. There's a lot of pedophilia going on probably with a lot of imams and shit in Muslim community. There's a lot of pedophilia going on in fucking Hollywood and all this other shit, but they're not really focusing on that so much. But they're going to focus on these kids because they're white, Christian, right-wing, male. But just start to wake up, people. Start to wake up, you stupid white liberals. Why can't you fucking tell that these people have a visceral fucking hatred for you? Like, a visceral fucking hatred. And, the pushback that these kids got was extremely out of proportion. Extremely. And anybody who was like, oh, we should punch these kids in the face, which tons of people were doing, you should feel, bad. You should feel terrible about yourself, honestly. And bringing up other instances of other people, and, oh, I see all these tweets being like, oh, well, we don't give black people second chances, and when this and this and that. And you're like, this is apples and fucking oranges. This kid stood there and stood in front of a native guy, and people are saying, well, we don't forgive black kids when they rob and shoot people, but we're gonna forgive this white kid. You know, oh, double standards, double standards. Like, what do you mean double standards? He was standing there, and still, you know, he was doing a recent interview with this, I think the USA Today or something, and she's like, do you have to apologize for anything and whatnot? And he's like, no, I did like nothing wrong, essentially. And all these liberals are going with a talking point. Look at him repeating his talking points from his lawyer. It's like, what else is he supposed to fucking say? Really, what else is he supposed to say? He did nothing wrong. Nobody ever talked about the talking points of David Hogg, the clear fucking talking points from like the Democratic Party, essentially, where he's spouting off their fucking platform half the fucking time. You know, all of these kids. Nobody. Oh, these kids are clearly paid off, and these statements are written by their lawyers, and you know they're so skeptical of it, but it's because of their skin color. You know, and this is only going to get worse in the future. The more multicultural our cities become, our countries become, the more closer that white people get to 50% and then lower. You know, it's not like once we go below 50%, people are going to stop blaming us for everything. No, they're still going to fucking blame us. And this shit is only going to escalate. You know, they're like, clearly, it doesn't take much for these to anger these fucking people. You know, you can, like, it's amazing to me if white people had the same, the same type of like patience as these people, essentially, we would be out killing people in the streets right now. We would be out like doing what these people are fucking saying they want to do because of all the fucking racist bullshit that is constantly directed at us, and they want to act like that's going on to them in the media and shit, and all these fucking fluff pieces coming out about how Native Americans are so oppressed and how they're always not believed. You know, there's something from the Star that came out, and how they're always disrespected. It's like, fuck you. You guys, like, these people, they live in an alternate reality where they think that all the media is attacking them, and they think that when they bring up, like, once in a while a stat of saying like, there's more crime in on reserves, and they're like, this is propaganda made to make us look bad. And you're like, whereas you see all of this shit being directed at white people constantly, all these kids being attacked for doing absolutely nothing. You know, constantly the media is releasing pieces about how white privilege is this. I read a piece a little while ago about how there's too many white kids in school and they just don't know how white they are. Like, every fucking day, every goddamn day you see this shit. And just replace it with black, replace it with any other race, and you would be dragged through the fucking streets as a racist. But I read this stuff every goddamn day from every news source in Canada, in America. Pretty much 95% of the media is pushing this type of anti-white propaganda, but somehow a lot of these minorities and stuff believe, because they're convinced by cultural Marxists, that they're the ones that are being attacked by the media, that they're the ones that are being framed to look bad. It's like, you know, it's totally ridiculous. Look at that Gillette commercial. Who was the bad guys in that commercial? It was white men. The saviors in that commercial were all black men. All the black ones doing anything. Anytime you're going to portray somebody who's stupid, who's a criminal nowadays, or anything like that, it always has to be essentially a white person, because every other group is going to get offended, and they're going to be like, oh, you're making us look bad, and this is bringing on the stereotypes of us that we're criminal. Well, the black people do commit a lot more fucking crime than white people in America, and same with Native Americans. Okay, so, you know, like in those Gillette commercials, how come we didn't see a lot of Muslims? How come we didn't see a lot of black people? How come we didn't see a bunch of other people, other race? How come we didn't see a bunch of Jews like Harvey Weinstein that sparked the whole thing to begin with, right? Doesn't make much sense. But it's because white people are the only people you're allowed to attack. And we're not going to freak out. We're not going to lose our shit and create boycott hashtags pretty much every single time we're portrayed negatively. You know, but like the Gillette one, yeah, that one deserves it because there's so much fucking shit in there. It's ridiculous. But this shit is almost in almost anything. And anytime somebody's slightly portrayed bad, then they lose their shit. Or they you know what I mean? Like, it's crazy. But once again, you know, there's so much that I could talk about this, so much coverage, so much bullshit, so much fake news, but other people have done it better than me. So that's pretty much all I had to say, though, about this. If you like my content, subscribe, and have a good day. See ya.